Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you're watching and wherever you're listening to this podcast. I'm Faye and I sell Medicare plans. This is the podcast where everyone comes who is an insurance professional who wants to know what is actually happening in these Medicare streets. This is where you can keep up to date with what's going on in your world and how you will be able to help others. Today, my special, very special guest, I am so excited about this. You guys just don't know. I am one who believe that just demonstrating to you how to present something to a customer, how to talk about Medicare is not all that we do. Because we run our own businesses, there are many, many other things that we need to know about. So, my very special guest today that I'm excited about is Eric Hausapper. Eric has been in business for a number of years. And as you can see, Eric believes in living in the gap. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Faye. I gotta correct you on my name. It's Holes Apple.
Holes Apple.
There you go.
You know what, Eric? I
What?
like to keep things simple. So if you don't mind, I'll just say
Eric.
Eric because
That'd be
I won't
perfect.
mess that one up.
That's perfect.
Thank you so much for the correction.
Thanks
So
for having me
listen,
on. Much
oh, you
appreciated.
are so welcome. Of course, most of the things that I've learned about you is about mindfulness. So can you just tell me what does that mean?
There's a lot of long definitions. I'd say if I wanted to define it succinctly, I'd say focus. And then I say the ability to be focused, happy, and deliver on my goals and objectives now.
And doing it in the present is that
Right. Yeah,
that's being
totally.
mindful.
And that's the only time you can be happy. There's no such thing as, happy at some point in the future. It's now.
How long
Yeah.
did it take you, Eric, to realize that to be happy and live successfully and have a gorgeous life that you live? Um, how long did it actually take you in business before you realized that?
Oh, I have to reinvent myself every day, Faye. We all get carried away in, culture and society's vision for us and all those things. But I've had several epiphanies. One was I was just about 30. I was very successful as CEO and all those things, but overweight, drank too much, started smoking, was single. And I had an epiphany moment then, shifted some things, lost some weight, exercise, and then I found yoga, which was my first entry into mindfulness. There's a lot of different entries. That was my first one. Uh, and then a few years later, this was a really key point for me. And my oldest brother was a poet, and my father was a football coach. And when they were like oil and water. My dad wanted him to play football. My brother wanted to write poetry. And I watched my brother start meditation in his 30s, almost 40. And he moved closer and closer to my dad, closer and closer. And he opened up to my dad, and my dad opened up, and I got my whole family back. And it was like, I just noticed for the first time how one person could change, and it could change the whole world. Everybody didn't have to change. And my brother said, "You want to try it?" And I said, "Boys, I want some of that." Yeah, I just watched a miracle. And so I tried it. And for years, I was a closet meditator. It can be very private, very, very, and you don't even have to meditate. That's one of the most powerful tools, but it's not for everybody. So I did that. And then years later, maybe if it's interesting, we can get into how it came into my business life and those kind of things. But I've had a number of epiphany experiences. I find that it literally is like layers of an onion. When you get a little bit and you see a little bit more, you get a little bit more and you see a little bit more. So I'm hopefully seeing a little bit more all the time, but I still have my blind spots, and I still my best days come in and out of presence. My best days I'm not in this work because I'm enlightened. I'm in this work because I need it. So
I understand. I understand fully. So there are many, many different ways I'm supposing that one could have transformation. So in your book, in your newest book, that's something that you're talking
yeah,
about, I believe.
yeah, yeah. There is a lot of different ways. Profit with presence, the 12 pillars of mindful leadership. No, there's a number of different ways. I mean, transformation as I define it is, in it's an alchemy of being just identified with my form and my body and my age and my job and my, status and all that stuff, to being identified with my consciousness, my being, and some power that's higher than myself, some spirit. And that is, to me, really empowering, because it's a much broader perspective from which to take the ups and downs of life, which, let's face it, life is one catastrophe after another, ending with death. Isn't that awful? But it's beautiful if we have the
Well, we
right
all
perspective.
know, we all know what that end result is going to be.
Yes.
And what's important for us, as you've probably found, is that throughout life, there will be ups and there will
Totally.
be downs, but
Totally.
you need to find and prioritize the way that you accept those ups and those downs.
Yeah,
Would you
and
agree?
yeah, and I would say, if I want to just totally rely on life's experience for my moods and my attitude and my feelings, then I'm gonna mirror those ups and downs. But if I can reside in a bigger, I call it presence. So different people call it different things. But if I can reside in presence, it's a bigger container, and I can watch the ups and downs, but I don't have to dip myself, up and down with every change in the stock price, every time I get a toenail bent, you know. And of course, there's some major things that take me too, but through mindfulness, I've learned to kind of iron out the lows, that they don't get quite as low, and and kind of be on a trajectory of being a little happier all the time, not, just realizing in gratitude what a beautiful journey this is. And yeah, there's a lot to it, but you know what, without that dichotomy of lows, there's no highs. So you need them, and it's some people say learning to surf,
So
because we're
have
gonna get
you
we get waves.
have you that's an interesting way to look at it. And I never thought of that, because even though I'm a native Floridian, I don't know how to swim, so I don't think I'll ever learn to surf. It's not something that I've ever wanted to do. But when you think about it in terms of life, we're surfing all the time.
Yeah,
So
totally.
as those waves come, the mindfulness in your life, it sounds like you've learned to prioritize what needs to be done, and therefore you're able to be more mindful and live in the presence. Is that a true
Yeah,
um
I've actually, in my book, I highlight, and I've come up with a priority system after baseball. Are you familiar with baseball?
and I am familiar with baseball. Never played
So
baseball.
I have a
Funny.
little system that just says, a home plate for me is my personal work. For me, it's meditation, it's gratitude, it's prayer. I have a little mindful movement practice. It can be yoga, doesn't have to be, but something that's mindful, getting in my body. I read. I have those kind of things that I do in the morning, anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. Some days, I like to do longer. I love to read. Um, and that's home plate for me. And that puts me in a mindset that says, whatever life comes at me that day, and I say the pitcher is life. I don't know what
Okay.
pitch I'm going to get. I might get a curveball, a fastball, it might be a spitball, could be a tsunami or a COVID plague, or, 9/11, or it could be the lottery. I don't know what pitch I'm going to get that day, but I know my mindset's going to determine how my day goes, not necessarily what pitch I go. So I think I have to have the right mindset even before I see my family and go with my family. So first base for me is family and friends. I want to make sure my family and friends are taken care of for the day. And if I have to go to work early, that might be the night before or something, just to make sure people have what they need. Because they're number one for me. There was just a study that came out from Harvard over 80 years and found the most important thing that they found in life that for happiness was long-term relationships. And for me, it's family. That's why I go to work, to support that and do that. So I make sure that's first base. If I go to work before touching first base, I get thrown out, because
Okay.
I can have the best job in the world, make $1 squillion, and if my family's a mess, I'm a mess. It doesn't matter. So that's my priority there. Second base is work, and when I get to work, I want to be able to focus 100%. When I'm focused and present, I can move the world in a few hours a day. I can get a lot done. If I'm distracted, I got all my apps opened up, my Facebook, my newspaper, I got taking calls, I'm I'm at work, but I'm half at work. So I like to go to work and be totally focused. And then third base for me is community service, saving the world. But it doesn't do any good if I'm not steady in my job or my family's a mess. I'm not going to be much help to them either. I'm bouncing checks everywhere, don't have myself in order. So to me, that's baseball. And if I do it all, I can have a home run. I can have a great family, a great job. I can make the world a little better place. And also the community service ties right back into my morning routine, which is gratitude and action. If I can go out, and that's how I think capitalism works, by people giving when they can, giving of themselves. And I love capitalism. I love business. And if we can give of ourselves when we can, then it works for everybody, not just, the 1% or 10% or whatever it is. It's got to work for everybody. And I think it can.
Well, as I was reading the bio for you, Eric, I was certainly impressed with that system that you set up for yourself. And as I relate that to insurance professionals and those of us who are actually doing Medicare, um, do you mind if I share your secret?
Share my secret, Faye. Go ahead.
Let's share your secret. Everyone, Eric is becoming a Medicare beneficiary really, really soon.
Wednesday.
And wow, happy birthday. That's coming up. You will probably be there before this actual broadcast is aired. But happy birthday and welcome
Thank you.
to Medicare Land. So that's Eric's secret. But for those of you who are listening, I want you to know that Eric was smart enough and mindful enough to actually contact an independent broker like yourself to find out what all of his Medicare options are and make a wise Medicare decision.
Absolutely.
So as I was saying, I was impressed with the way that you outline the baseball concept.
Yeah, thank you. I think
Home
it helps to have
plate.
priorities. I mean,
Yes.
if you don't have priorities, everything's a priority. It's stressful. But if I know when I get that call from my kids that I go, then that to me takes the stress off.
Absolutely. And because you're mindful and you have that mindset that you're going to prioritize these things in your life, it has made it all come together so that you have a winning World Series all the time.
Well,
Right?
I wouldn't go that far.
Of course you do.
I'm as subject to the curveballs as anybody, but I think I found a way to hit a few of them.
Yes, but I mean, in the
Yeah,
end, you're winning all the time because you
totally.
put all these things together.
If we're here on Earth, just look at the miracle it is. Yeah, how dare we look at it, to being, not anything other than just a miracle.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's share with us more about the book,
Sure.
where we can get the book, because
Yeah.
I believe your book will be very, very helpful,
Ooh,
extremely helpful for those
yeah.
of us who are living, who want to live in the present, who want to get the most out of life, who want to live the life that will get us to where we want to be. And that includes God, family, and community.
The whole
So
thing.
tell us about a little bit more about it.
Well, the title is Profit with Presence, the 12 Pillars of Mindful Leadership. It's available for free sale on Amazon. It'll be shipped to you on March 7th. So go on there today and, get your pre-order and get it done. We also have a website, livinginthegap.org, which you can order the book from there and all of our workshops. You can sign up for our newsletter. There's free resources like a 21-day program to get you started in mindfulness, just 10 minutes a day, if that's of interest to you. But basically the book says, you don't have to have a trade-off of mindfulness and be in business. I say a lot of people in business tell me mindfulness is woo-woo. It's too soft and takes too much time. And I think that's wrong thinking. Mindfulness, as I said, is focus, the ability to be happy and focused and deliver on my results. And to me, that's just totally in sync with business. I mean, I think business without focus is not business. It just happened, it's an accident. So I like to focus. So I think mindfulness is great with that. And the beauty of mindfulness is, I call it the miracle of business mindfulness, is if I learn mindfulness at work. First of all, at work, we have all races, all religions, all genders. We have all the political parties, and we're mandated to come in and work together for a common cause. Mindfulness makes that easy, removes judgment, increases compassion, makes that much easier to communicate. And the real bonus is, then I take it home. I share it with my spouse. I share it with my kids. I have someone here leaving every day at 4:00, going there coaching 3 kids in sports teams. They've increased their business at the time they've done it, and they're sharing mindfulness with the sports team. No, not sitting down and chanting and meditations, but they're sharing mindfulness. Mindfulness is an intention and a concept. I fill my mind full of what I choose to fill it with. I focus. So I think it's a miracle. I think you can do it all, but prioritize. So when there's less time, what you can get done. You get the top priorities done. And that you don't have to wait. I'm exhausted when I get home at night. I work hard. I can't wait until I get home at night and then squeeze in, 10 minutes of this or that. I work on mindfulness all day long. It allows me to listen to people that I work with, listen to customers better, be more focused. I think it can be the key to your business success.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I was going to ask you to wrap up with a key, and you did. You just
Oh,
did.
sorry, Faye.
Mindfulness is the key, right? Mindfulness, being mindful and having the right mindset about life and all of the components that pull into life. Thank you so very much. Listen, listeners, go to Amazon.com for the pre-sale of Eric's new book. And make sure that you look for, let's see the book again, Eric.
Profit with Presence, the 12 Pillars of
Profit,
Mindful Leadership. Eric Holsapple.
Profit with Presence. I'm not going to murder your name again, but if you do Profit with Presence on Amazon, do the pre-sale and think about this. Putting mindfulness into your business will help the business and you to live the life that you would love to live.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Eric, for being with me today. Is there any last word that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. I tell people, don't to go small and look for, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Be consistent, go small. If meditation's not for you, start for others. I mean, one of the simplest, easiest things is gratitude. Think of 3 things you're grateful for and why in the morning before you get out of bed or before you get going or with your coffee. Can change your whole mindset, can change your whole life. So start small, be consistent, and get started. That's what
Thank
I'd
you
suggest.
so much. This is Faye, and I sell Medicare plans. Listen to the podcast. If you are watching our YouTube session, then by all means hit that subscribe button. Let us know that you liked and give us in comments. Go to Eric's website and order anything that you see that will help you in your business. And thanks once again, Eric, for being with me today.
You're welcome, Faye. I really enjoyed it. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.